So speaking of costs, I know that there's a significant difference between a retail lender and a wholesale lender. Between you know, in terms of rates and costs involved. Take us through kind of what because I feel like it's something that a lot of people don't really know about, a lot of consumers out there. So kind of take us through what the biggest differences are between, let's say, a retail lender and a mortgage broker like yourself, where you have access to many more different banks.
And one of the main things is overall cost is they say that brokers save consumers about an average of $10,000 on their transaction, and throughout the life. I can just kind of attest to my personal experience. I spoke with, or excuse me, I started working at retail shops. I've been at retail shops for the first about 6 years of my industry. I'll just say that on our side, on the wholesale side, from coming from retail, it's always been a quicker transaction. Again, I've always experienced rates have been lower. I've always usually been able to come out on the winning side.
I think there's a lot of value there. When you're talking to consumers, certainly something that I bring up, when I'm talking to a buyer, and that's one of the many questions I ask them is, are you purchasing all cash or are you financing? And if you're financing, do you have a mortgage lender you're working with, or that you prefer working with? And sometimes they say no, and I explain to them the difference between working with a retail lender versus a broker versus a wholesale, and the cost difference, right? Especially if they're very tight on money. I think that's a big difference.